I'm going to voice my opinion. All right, so I understand that officer who was sitting on Mr. Floyd's, I forgot the officer's name, with his knee in his neck anyways. This is where that police officer definitely needs to do a full-blown apology. Regardless, maybe his state of mind, he was just been attacked by the guy that he had pinned down. So once you handcuff your defendant there, once you handcuff them and they're down, your job is to help him up and have him sit until you have further help coming or an ambulance shows up because you noticed he was in distress. Your fault is you screwed up. This is something that you can see as clear as day. I get an apology is not going to be enough. It is not going to bring him back. And I am, my sympathies go out to the family of, I'm going to remember his name. Everyone's going to remember his name for a long time. But here's the thing. You screwed up. And yes, he should be charged. Because of his knee of suffocation, he did, commit murder. Even if it wasn't intentional, he was not moving from that guy's neck. There was no reason for it. Once a person's handcuffed, what is he going to do? Run? He's not going to get very far. So you went too far, is what you did. And you need to make a statement. I mean, I'm sure your family's life is being destroyed because of this. Their family's been destroyed because of this. Everyone in this circle is going to be destroyed. And there is no going back now. You can't go back now. So now it's going forward. I don't understand the, setting things on fire, vandalizing places of business. The purpose of having those businesses is so that your fellow neighbors can work. And when you do stuff like that, obviously you're causing harm to not just, being harmful like that is not going to make it clear. You can make other ways to make you heard. Believe me, you have been heard. Maybe it just feels like, from all the past, things are changing. We're going through an epidemic. We're going through properties being destroyed by nature, floods and fires. And, there's just a constant battle that us Americans need to step up. There is no racism in American. There isn't. We're all American. We all live here. We all have to survive. We all have to keep the world running. Start building stuff of our own so we don't have to ask China to help us out. There's things that we can do ourselves that need to step up to the plate. And yeah, a lot have, as you can see, our fellow neighbors who are doctors and nurses and the mailmen and transportation and, the list goes on. Firemen all over the world have stepped up to help stand up for our country, just as our men in arms are out there to help us. But you can't, you gotta stop living like that. Just proven this epidemic, it's a proven fact that we step outside and we get hit by a bus. It is the way it is, and you have to adapt to your surroundings. We all need to work together. People have stepped up and stated that they're doing their best to follow guidelines and do what they need to do. So I wear a mask. I was isolated for many days away from my own family, within my own home, in my room, because I came down extremely sick, the worst sick that you can possibly think of. By the time my symptoms started clearing up, I was about 19 days additional in, and waited to get permission to go and get swabbed to find out that I was negative. I did not have the coronavirus. We don't know if I had it. We don't have confirmation that I didn't really have it, just that in that moment I was not with it. So now on the 1st, I go again to get swabbed because I've got to get a colonoscopy on the 4th, and they're not doing any procedures like that unless I am cleared. So keeping my fingers crossed that me washing my hands and changing my sheets, and I mean, I was doing that because I was in isolation, so it's just I am a phobic of people right now. My skin twitches when someone gets too close to me, even though I'm wearing a mask. I do use sanitizer a lot. It's just when you're isolated for so long, it plays a toll on you. Huge one. Depression, everything. My world was ending. I did not know if I was going to survive it, but I did know that if I got up every day and I stretched my legs in my quarantine area, my family made me food and brought it to the back door where I could easily go get it. I did have my own bathroom. I was taking sponge baths in my sink because I was not going upstairs to use my shower where my bathroom is in my bedroom with my husband. I was very, very isolated. And it's going to still take me a while to be my old self again. So either way, I've traumatized myself, but I was doing what I had to do to make sure that I was staying more safe. I did not want to end up at the hospital on a ventilator. Me being asthmatic as it is, I used my inhaler. They gave me another inhaler and a steroid because I was going through pneumonia in my lungs. It's no joke. It's no joke. And and those people that are in the hospital presently, I mean, I feel for them because, you know, my hardest thing was I was not going to get put on a ventilator because I don't believe that if I got put on one, that my body would have had the strength to fight it at that point. So I got up every day. I drank so much Powerade and water. I was peeing. Everything was running through me, period. But no matter what, I kept putting it in as it was coming out, but I kept replenishing. I got up, moved around. We had just finished my living room, so I got up, we moved around. I was by myself a lot. I could hear my children. I have 2 young teenage boys home still out of my 4 boys. The other 2 are not home. One's in Schenectady, the other one's in New Hampshire. And, you know, they would check on me, you know, I'd, you know, shoot them a text and communicate that way. And, you know, my husband went grocery shopping for me. He did cooking. I mean, he learned to cook salmon. I taught him over the phone. Everybody in the family just chipped in, and they were awesome. You know, they were my heroes. Because if it wasn't that I could hear them on the other side of my door that went into my kitchen, because that's where we all meet. That's where we have our dinners. So while I was eating my sandwich, I was listening to them have a conversation, and every now and then I'd weigh in through the door. It was weird. I'd weigh in because my husband talked to me constantly. You know, we had our crying moments because it was, it was very stressful. Very stressful. So this stuff is no joke. So those people that are going out and partying, until I probably feel safe myself, I will continue to do my duty to make sure that I don't pass something on to someone, or someone hopefully doesn't pass one over onto me. Now I will know in a few days on my corona swiping again. This will be my second one. I'm now going to be going to Albany Medical Center, and I guess there's a tent in there. My first testing was done at Sony. It wasn't pretty. It was very uncomfortable. Everyone, you know, oh, it's no big deal. No, for someone who doesn't like their throat swabbed, you're not going to like your nose swabbed. But you do what you have to do. You get it? So, like I'm going to say now, I'm going to pay tribute to all those victims of coronavirus deaths, to all those victims for just stupid riot incidents. You know, you gotta stop damaging the business. The business is what keeps things going. Don't go after that. You want to go after the government because you're pissed. You want to go after the police department. Well, you burned down the damn police department. But you also put the other cops that were not at fault in a situation themselves, because now they have to probably go to another precinct and pile up on top of precinct, you know what I mean, another police station, and pile up their work on top of that one. So, you know, that made no sense to me. You know, destroying Target, all the small little businesses, that just doesn't make sense to me, because you're lashing out at us now, and they weren't there. They weren't involved. There's a huge not okay. That is not okay. Yes, I am a white woman, but you know what? I don't see color. I don't. I grew up the way a lot of my generation, and I'm 41 years old. I grew up where it was I got treated. I was the only white girl in my all Mexican class in California. You know, they said my maiden name was Gutierrez, and I would raise my hand, I'm here, and everyone would look at me because I wasn't Mexican. And why the hell did I get that last name? And yeah, you know, when we moved to upstate New York, my sister and I, we flew over in the 4th of July. God, it was 1991 or so. The first time